Great. So here we are. So we have our Sumifs. So I'll only recap on this. Otherwise, the other areas, you guys will be able to find them on the videos that I'll send by the end of this session. So if, for example, you're given this data, so you have here month, you have the product, we have countries, we have sales revenue. And in this case, you would want, for example, to get some total. Perhaps this could be invoices, right? And you want to get the sum of particular invoices in a particular month, right? So those are the conditions, invoices of a month, right? Maybe less than this amount. Like, so the conditions, when the conditions are given, like now you're in the third one, how will I be able to handle conditional summations? It's very easy. First of all, Excel, you start by saying equals. That is the first thing you do. Watu ukienda ukishindwa na chochote ile, ujue Excel, for you to operationalize a cell, lazima uanze na equals. And then you look for the sum ifs. Look for the sum ifs, look for the sum ifs. So the sum ifs is there, so I'll be able to tab. Take this to the cell. Once I take it to the cell, sum ifs, or rather Excel basically will give you what to do. For example, it has told you to look for the sum range. What do you want to sum? You want to sum all this, right? So if I want to sum all this, I have in this case here to do what here to highlight all this. You highlight the total sum range. From there, Excel is telling you to put a comma. So you put a comma there. From there, the first, you know, here we have got three criteria. We've got three conditions. The first criteria is the month of April. So the month of April, we look for its house. Where is it housed? That is the range. So April month is here. This is the month April is found here. So I need to come and highlight the entire column of months like that, right? From there now I'll come and say a comma, right? Now what is the criteria itself? It is a month of April. Then I'll come and in this case here put a comma. Remember, I've got two more conditions. I have shirt yellow. So shirt yellow is the next criteria, but I cannot attack it directly. First of all, I attack the house. Where is it housed? Shirt yellow is under the shirts here. So first of all, the entire house, I have to build the entire house like that. I highlight the entire house. I say comma, and then I go for the condition itself now. Shirt yellow, comma. We have the next one, which is UK. So UK is a country. That is the criteria. So I have to go to all countries' house. I highlight this column here, country, like that. So like that, we go to the end. And then I will be able to say comma. And then straight away, we shall be able to click on what here now, UK. And then I'll be able to close brackets like that, right? So after I do that, I'll be able to do what here to click, and I'm able to get this 400 and what here, 71. So if next they would want me to give them shirts in this case here that were sold, say in USA, mine will be simply to go there, and then I click enter, right? April, there were no shirts, yellow shirts, which were sold in where? In USA, You can see here April. April only had shirt yellows being sold to where? To UK. Otherwise, the other one was shirt blue, shirt white, etc., like that. Now, that brings me to today's concept. Today is going to be a good day, a great day. And how do I get started in analyzing your financials? I would want to take you through what we call pivot tables. Pivot tables. So under pivot tables, there is something that Kimani has sent to your emails, which I would want you to open. It's called the pivot tables. It's called the pivot tables. Pivot tables. Is there anybody who has been able to get that email? Pivot table, pivot table, pivot table. All right, pivot tables, please download it to your email, to your computer, Download this to your computer. It looks like this. It looks like this. It looks like that. So, and I would want our tradition of saying why for yes. Have you been able to download it? You can actually download all of them. There is one there called pivot tables. Pivot table. How do you insert a pivot table? Or tradition of why. These are 5 minutes thing. Actually less than 5 minutes. So once you download it, please say yes. If it's not there, I should be able to send it very fast. Great. So as I wait for you to download, I can be doing something. I can be doing something. I can be doing something. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a pivot table is a very interesting table, and it's a 1 minute thing that I'll need to do to be able to get my pivot tables. So if you look at the table that I have here, it is going all the way to row number. Is it 10,000? Is it 10,000? Let me see. Right? Up to 15,121, right? Talking about so many things about supermarkets that we have, convenience stores. So when I look at this kind of a table, honestly speaking, as a manager, I will not be able to come up with any conclusions, meaningful decisions out of this. I mean, I can see unitary price, I can see unitary cost, I can see code. So what really will I be able to pick out of this? Nothing. So the very best thing that I need to do is to come and fix what we call the pivot pivot table. And fixing the pivot table is a very easy thing. You simply come to the home button, right? Home button, no, insert button. You are inserting a pivot table. You insert, right? We have got recommended pivot tables. If you are not so good with pivot tables, you work with recommended pivot tables. But if you are excellent, like now you guys are going to become excellent superstars, then you'll need to know how to create your own pivot tables. Like so, you click pivot table. So when you click pivot table, they want you to select, you choose the data that you would want to analyze. Select a table or a range. So I would want to select the entire table. Then how do I select this entire table honestly? So you get somebody who does not know Excel so much, anaanza kuselect manually. Anaanza kuselect manually, anafika huko mwisho, anaanza kuenda chini. Utaenda chini kweli paka 15,000 kweli hivyo kimanually hivyo kweli? Hawezi. So you must learn how to, in this case here, highlight tables very fast. How do we highlight our tables very fast? We have got these navigation keys. We call them navigation keys. There are 4 of them. There are 4 of them, right? So I've got one which goes down. I've got one which goes onto the right. So what I'll do, I'll come and put my cursor here on the ear. And then I have what we call Control Shift. I press the right arrow. When I press the right arrow, it highlights the entire column titles. It highlights all the column titles. I'm still holding on to Control and the Shift. I'm still holding on to Control and Shift. Then now I'll be able to press what here, somebody the down arrow. So when I press the down arrow, this thing goes ahead and highlights all up to 15,121. I would want to repeat this concept. But before I repeat, could you kindly try? Let's see whether there is anybody who will be able to pick this concept of highlighting correctly. Right? And please try to use your charts. It's very easy. Try to use your charts. It's very easy. Use the emojis which are there. There are emojis which are there, right? You have one emoji showing a thumbs up, another one showing a thumbs down. There's one which is smiling. There's another one which is crying, like that. So I would want to repeat, but before I repeat, is there anybody who has been able to highlight the entire? Just try and don't hide. Let's be very free here. Let's be very free here. Let's be very free here. Don't hide anything. So is there anybody who has been able to highlight? Let me repeat again, and then I'll ask you to do what here, to do it yourselves. Right, all right, all right, all right. So ladies and gentlemen, here I am, here I am, here I am, here I am. So I'm at the top. Even before I introduce this thing of what here, this thing over pivot tables, look at what I'm doing. I've come to the ear there, right? So in the ear there, have taken Control Shift, and then there is this right-hand side arrow. The right-hand side arrow. When I click it like this, I'm able to see straight away that all that row title, the row title has been highlighted. And then I have Control Shift, the down arrow. So when I press now Control Shift, the down arrow, then straight away I'm able to highlight the entire table, Now I'm still back to you. Is there somebody who has been able to do the highlighting? Is there somebody who has been able to do the highlighting? Is there somebody who has been able to do the highlighting of this? Yes, Gabriel. William, yes. Mohammed, yes. Thank you very much. That's quite a good sample for me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, you guys are also free to tell me more. Let me repeat. Now, I'll have to go back here very fast. Go back to where I started from. Go back to where I started from. Go back to where I started from. So I'll go to the insert. I want to insert this into a pivot. So I'll say insert the pivot. So when I say insert the pivot, it's asking me to highlight the entire table. So to highlight the entire table, what do? I'll come here, right? Control Shift, right arrow, Control Shift, down arrow. So I've been able to highlight the entire. When I highlight the entire, leave alone this. Use an external data source. So for external data source, for those companies in this case here that I've got what here, that I have got like ERP systems, SAP, ZTC, we normally click on this so that we can export data from ERP system, right? But you see, for us, we have this table in Excel. That's why we have selected this one here. Now from there, choose where you want the pivot report to be placed. Normally, we prefer the new, or rather we prefer an existing worksheet. I would have really loved to have my pivot table being placed by the side here. But you see now this table that I have here is so big, it is eating up almost everything. So in this case, I've got no other way other than just going by the new worksheet. Location, leave alone that. Now you come and simply tell us, okay. You tell us, okay. So that's a very important step. I would want to see whether there is anybody who has been able to reach there. Is there anybody who has been able to reach there? Let's see, Augustine. I'm so sure this is a response to the other question. Let's see whether there is anybody who has been able to reach there, who is able to see the pivot fields. The pivot fields. Who is able to see the pivot fields? Kimani says yes. Gabriel, yes. That's two. That's quite small. I'll have to relax a little bit. Augustine, so forth. Clive, yes. Great, great. I'm waiting for one more. Before I repeat, I'm waiting for one more to say yes, or at least cry. Crying is also very nice. It's very healthy. It's very healthy. One of the reasons why we have our ladies living longer than men is that at times these ladies here cry. Men tunajifanya kichwa ngumu kabisa, hakuna kulia. Unakuwa na emotions mingi sana kwa mwili. So at times just cry. It's healthy. So I'm waiting to get to see whether there is any other student apart from the four who has been able to get to where I am here. To where I am. Okay, I would want to repeat because hakuna amefika. Hapa hakuna analia. Sasa nisikize, before nirudie nisikize. Now here, I'm able to see the fields. Basically, the fields are the column titles that you chose up there. Like we had the year, we had the type, we had the product group, producer, code, etc. Remember from your quantitative analysis that you learned in CPA section 4. In time series, year is normally taken to the columns. So you come and drag the year. Sorry, you drag this year. You simply hold on to your mouse down. You drag this to columns. Always, year must go to the columns. Please try that. Try doing that, please. So we have columns, we have rows, filters will be coming later. We have values. Let me know whether there is anybody who has been able to place the year under columns, even if it's one person. I'll repeat the entire thing. Even if it's one person, let me know whether there is anybody who has been able to place the year under the column. Augustine, yes. Augustine, yes. No one else, no one else, no one else. Okay, let me go to the end for you to appreciate what I'm doing. Now you see the product group, products will go to the rows, right? When I say products, you can see now what is happening here, alcohol, etc. All the products are coming there, right? Right. From there, I'll have like sales, profits, volumes going here. So like volume, I can take volume here, like that. So when I do that, you can see straight away that now my table is being populated. However, the volume, you have to be very careful with this volume. You know, they are giving you the count of volume, right? For us, we always prefer the sum, volume summed. The one you get here, if it's count of volume, tell it no, please click on it. Please click on it. Click on this drop down. There is a drop down there. We don't want the count of volume. We would want this value field. So I'll say value field there. Once the pop-up window comes up, I'll go and say sum. So when I say sum there, what am I seeing? I'm seeing something that is very interesting. Now my entire table has been condensed to something that I will be able to use as a manager to really make even decisions. Like I can see if it's alcohol. Alcohol, now I can observe the trends. Alcohol 2021, they sold 222,612 units. 2022, it went up. 2013, I mean, it went up. 2024, it went down. So I'll call the person who is in charge of alcohol. How comes 2014, in this case, this thing went down? And then this guy will come and tell you, oh no, 2014, we have only counted 6 months, right? So for you as an auditor, this thing is a very important thing called what here? Pivot table, because you'll be able to use it to observe what here? You'll be able to use it to observe trends. So remember what we said yesterday. When you have gone to a client, of course, a client has got what we call the management assertions. Those things that these guys are cheating you about. They're telling you that our financial statements are accurate. They're complete, etc. So tell them, no, you give me your transaction schedule, for example, for the last 3 years, right? All those transactions could be trial balance or whatever. Now, once you have that, please come and map that out into what here? A pivot table, and observe trends. Remember the substantive tests, analytical, substantive tests, analytical procedure. This is the things you're supposed to do, observing trends of your things. Once in this case here, for example, you have your sales. Your sales is going up, right? From the pivot, you can see sales going up, right? And then you have your gross profit margin going down. Then that one, you should be able to place an audit query. What in this case here really could lead to this kind of a thing? How come sales is going up and the gross profit margin is going down? There must be a problem with cost of what here sales. There must be people here who are trying to play around with what here with inventory, right? So I'll be able to put in audit procedures for inventory. So this pivot table is a serious tool for an auditor. It's a serious tool for an auditor, right? Right. So I would want to repeat it one more time. So if you don't mind, I'll come and go back to my table. Right. 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 Great. So this table of mine, sorry, pivot table, pivot, here we are. Okay, so we have the pivot there. So with this pivot, what do we do? The first thing, ladies and gentlemen, that we need to do very fast here, you can actually even start with doing what here, somebody highlighting it. So how do I highlight this very fast? It's Control Shift right arrow, Control Shift down arrow. Once I reach there, now I'll come and insert my pivot table. So I'll come and insert my pivot table like that. You can see already now here, the range has been selected for me, right? It's a new worksheet that I want. I would want in this case here to place this in a different worksheet, which is here. Then I'll come and remember very fast, the year must always be put in the columns. If I've got product here, products, I'll take them to the rows, right? And then I'll come and put the volume here, right? And once I put the volume there, remember we don't work with count, we want shillings, or rather we want the sum. Always we want the sum. So come to the drop down menu there, and then be able to say value field, and then we'll be able to say sum there. And then now you'll be able to say okay. So you say okay, now you'll be able to see your parameters there, right? And then remember that this particular thing called pivot table is very, very dynamic. Like somebody would want, for example, if I remove this, I would want in this case here, for example, to see my suppliers with the time. If I put producer there, you see these are my suppliers now. So as an auditor, I'll be able to look at the trends of Aqua. Like now Aqua with the time has been increasing their supplies to us. The moment I start realizing that more suppliers are dropping down, their volumes are going down, you're able to see that some suppliers are key number, like 4 or 5 of them, you are seeing 0, 0, 0. That's an indicator of going concern. Are we together up to there? 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 Are we together? Are we together? Are we together? Remember, it's Y for yes, N for no. And then again, remember, these are things you'll be able to practice on later. And they are very interesting. They are very interesting. They are very interesting. When a client sees you doing this, Augustine says no. Thank you very much, Augustine, for that boldness. Okay, thank you very much. So Augustine, where are you stuck? Would you want me to repeat the entire thing? Where are you stuck? Would you want me to repeat the entire thing? Augustine, would you want me to repeat the entire thing? Thanks for being that bold. Not Augustine. Okay, please repeat. So I would want to repeat this very fast. That is my work, right? So I'll come here. We have our pivot table. Our pivot table. I picked the wrong one. Great. We have our pivot table. It must be somewhere. Pivot table. Great. Okay. Great. So this is it. Yes. So remember we said start by doing what you're somebody highlighting. So highlighting, that is it. I hope it has been able to take the whole of it. Great. So then after that, come to insert. What are we inserting? We're inserting the pivot table. So this pivot table, yes, it has been able to capture the whole of it, the range up to 15,121. That's okay. It's a new worksheet. come and say, okay. So when you say, okay, now yours, remember there is no hard and fast rule about what you should place where. But of course, as an accountant, I know that the years must be column titles. But there is no harm if you decide to take them to the rows. But I mean, if you put them in the rows, I will be able to see the trends nicely. No. So if I'm the one doing this, I'll come and take the year. I take the year to the columns. And come and take, in this case here, the volume. Of course, volume, of course, has got to go to the value zone, right? And then this volume, remember, everything that you bring here should never be count of volume, should be sum of volume. So please come to the value field and you say value field there. You'll be able to see this thing coming up, and then you'll be able to say what there, you'll be able to say sum, and then you apply like that. And then after that, of course, now you'll be able to, like sum of volume, like now you can see how the volume, your volume has been spread into the 4 years. Even with this alone, you'll be able to simply say, hey, things are not all right. But here, from the look of things, of course, things are very all right. Like here we started with 5 million, 5.3, 5.6, 5.7, and we are yet just well within 6 months. So this is a very good company and not raise any going concern issues. But now remember, this again has to be spread in the form of what? In the form of products. So bring product group down here, the rows, right? 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 Like that. And then now later on, as you guys become super users of Excel, you'll be able to use these filters. You'll be filtering, for example, this thing in terms of individual products, etc, etc. But for now, I just want you to get what is necessary at your workplace, just to see the common trends. Because again, remember, an auditor, you're not supposed to go really into depth. No. Yours is trend analysis, being able to provide like some of these things in the management letter. Tell them, I've realized one of your key flagship products here, the sales is declining. Please watch out, right? Right? They even wonder how comes you're able to know some of those things, right? So it's very, very important. It's very, very important for you to do what here for you to know this. So can I move to something different? Can I move to something different? Can I move to something different now? Can I move to something different? Otherwise, our 1 hour is at risk. And I don't want to waste your time as well. Yes. So I believe somebody has gotten it, and I believe you guys will be practicing in the office. Ladies and gentlemen, from there now we go to something very important. It's called VLOOKUP. Could you kindly open that file of VLOOKUP? Open the file of VLOOKUP. Already I have it myself. VLOOKUP function. VLOOKUP function. VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP function. Now we are almost coming to the end. So VLOOKUP. So could we be having some people here who love football? Fans of football. And if you're a fan of football, which team do you support? 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 So yes, I thought of Arsenal people, and I had something for you here. We have in this case here some guys who support Liverpool. Okay, so nobody is supporting Liverpool, I'm told. Now, ladies and gentlemen, finance is very interesting. At times, nakumbuka hata hii iliniangusha siku moja interview mahali Uniform Distributors nilipokuwa nafanya CPA. Na wewe mwindi alifanya nikaanza kujua sana Excel, nikaanza kutafuta nini ya kujua Excel. Because I went there, these guys had, even right now, I want to believe it has even grown. They have a very big Excel worksheet because of what here, the various products they are selling. So you get, for example, a shirt of a certain size has got like even 20-30 distributors, as like even 20-30 distributors. So that automatically is one shirt. Then we have got sweaters. We've got this. So when you add all their product portfolio, it will be running to tens and tens of thousands. So then what these guys will do in the interview, they'll come and ask you, they've given you the Excel worksheet, they'll come and ask you to look for one item in that Excel worksheet. So they told me to look for this type of a shirt sold by this type of a supplier. Sikuwa najua Excel at all. So what I did that day, it was very embarrassing, but fortunately, now I learned Excel. Now I'm a super user of Excel and I'm happy. So unakuta sababu haujui, sasa unapata umeshika hapa, unakujanga unashika hapa. Unaanza kutembea page number 1 hauoni. Kama nimekuambia utafute team Arsenal, page number 2 hauoni. Unasonga page down, page up, hauoni. For you to be able to move across like those rows which are running to tens and tens of thousands, utatoka hapo macho kama imefura na utakuwa umeona chochote. Nakumbuka ukishamaliza kuona hiyo shati, in case uipate, tena unaweza kutafuta supplier na ni nani. It becomes chaotic. And as accountants, ladies and gentlemen, we must be at a position of knowing how to look for these things from Excel worksheets easily. And one of those things, functions that you would need to know is what we call VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is what we call VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP. So here we are. Here we are. So for example, you are here and then somebody comes and tells you, hey, please look for me for a team called Arsenal. This one is just a simple example that I picked. It becomes very easy for you to see Arsenal is here, blah, 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 blah. It becomes very easy for you to see that Arsenal is an English team. It plays Champions League. Last year, it played 38 games. And in this case, you can see points earned was 79. Let me compare it to Man U, Manchester United. Manchester United is always behind. I don't know. Great. So this one is quite easy to read because of what here? Fewer data values, fewer information, fewer rows. What if the rows were going up to 10,000? Then we have got various lookup functions, but I always teach the VLOOKUP. It's very, very essential. Now this VLOOKUP, why am I applying VLOOKUP first of all here? I am applying VLOOKUP because the team you have told me to choose is in a column that is what here? Vertical. You know, they have got horizontal this way and then vertical down. So it's a vertical. So VLOOKUP is vertical. So then how do I get to search for this Arsenal team? It's very easy, very easy. So what I'll do, I'll come and say equals. And then I'll start looking up for the VLOOKUP function. So when I start pressing VLOOKUP already I can see it has popped up in blue. When it pops up in blue like that, it means that you should be able to tab. You should be able to tab. When it's blue like that, you tab. The person who taught me this VLOOKUP at my office here in Mzungu, anakwambia Smirnoff, blue label, you tab. Smirnoff, I know you guys are Muslims, most of you, even Christians who are here who have prayed for us this morning. I know you don't partake of those things, but it's not wrong for you to remember, blue Smirnoff, always tab. Tab is this particular button, which is on top of your caps lock, So you tab on it, and when I tab on it like that, then I'll be able to see VLOOKUP imekuja pale kwa cell. So please, I would want to hear, and this time around, I want to hear from the 19 people who are here. I would want to hear whether you guys have been able to reach where I have reached without fear. Without fearing. Please try to use whichever means. If you haven't reached there, there is an emoji which has a cry or a thumbs down, or use N. Use N. Or use CS if you have reached there. Like CPA, David Makia has already reached there. Please try. I want to hear from the 19 of you, because I'm so sure this VLOOKUP is something, if you're not using it right now, it's something that is going to become very big in the organization because of big data. Like there is an assignment, small assignment I did for a company called IGAD, Intergovernmental Authority on Development. Those guys gave me their PPE register. If you look at their PPE register, remember their member countries are about 5. They've got assets all over, right? Assets all over. Their PPE register could be running into like 2,000 rows like that. So for you to be able to analyze and put proper formulas, you have to be an advanced Excel user. You must know this VLOOKUP so well. So Billy Cheng says yes, David says yes. How about the other friends? How about Kimani says yes? William says yes. Thank you very much. Those are at least 4, 5. Great. So once I say VLOOKUP, it has come there. Look at this. They want you to give them the lookup value. The lookup value is the item that you are looking up for. Which item are you looking up for? It is this Arsenal. So you press Arsenal like that. You press Arsenal like that. Now listen and listen to me very well. Here I'm going to use the dollar references. I'm going to use the dollar references quite a lot. So between H and the 4, where do you expect me to put a dollar before? Which one do you expect me to put a dollar before it? Between H and the 4. Don't worry, even if you don't get it correct, just guess. Should I place the dollar before H or should I place the dollar before 4? Should I place the dollar before H or should I place the dollar before 4? Somebody talk to me this morning. Both of them, so like press F4, both of them, right? Thanks, Jessica, for a thumbs up. That's very good to me in the morning. Very good. Very good. Aha. Now, angalieni hapa. Wakati unataka kujua unaweka hii dola wapi, unaangalia H4. So H is here and the 4 is in between. 4 is this row. This row, if you look at it nicely. So hii 4 ni kitu katikati, eh? Hii row 4 katikati, kuna hii team na kuna kazi inaendelea hapa chini. Right? But hii H, hii ni cornerstone. Because team zote zitakuwa hapa na hakutakuwa na kitu kingine, tutakuwa tuna make reference to all these teams throughout. Kwa hii H, ukienda kwa, for example, number of games played, you'll be saying Arsenal. You'll be going back like that. So H is the cornerstone. So the cornerstones must always be given. You know, the more you have, the more you are given. So H, we shall place the dollar before H. It's a cornerstone. It's a cornerstone because of it's a, you know, this H is the one that has got teams. It is like a title to us. It's a title to us, right? Now, from there, ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. I'll come and continue with my journey. So I'll say equals as this thing tells me. From there, we have the table array. So table array, we shall come and pick the entire table here, where we're getting the information from. You pick the entire table where you're getting the information from. So we have Control Shift. I highlight the column there, and then I'll be able to go down now to all the rows, mara moja. And then listen and listen to me very well. Table arrays, and that is where they come in some funny color. Table arrays must always be fully fixed. Table arrays must always be fully fixed by you pressing F4. Ukipress F4, inakuja dola mbele ya 12, inakuja dola mbele ya F, inakuja dola mbele ya 3, inakuja dola mbele ya B. You press F4 like that. If I were you, I would have written somewhere that table array must be fully fixed. It's called full referencing. It's called full referencing. It's called full referencing. Right? So I would beg one thing, that now you stop doing what you're doing, and then you give me 1 minute. I finish the entire thing for you to see the end picture. You know, the moment you have the picture of what you expect, it becomes easy for you to learn Excel. Now you're not writing anything. Now I only beg for your eyes to see my screen. You know, the screen that you have now is mine. For the time that you're together here, the screen that you have is mine. So please, you're only looking at this, and then I'll start from scratch. So I'll come and say comma there. So after I say comma, ladies and gentlemen, the next thing they want me to do is to come and give them column index number. So remember, it is country I'm looking for. I would want to know the country of team Arsenal. So country is column number 1, column number 2. Country is column number 2. Even if you go to the original table, country 1, 2. So country is column number 2, like that. And then I will be able to say what there, comma. Now listen and listen to me very well. In finance, we don't do approximations. We don't go for approximate matches. In finance, as we always go for exact match. You know, hapa imekuuliza, is it a true or a false? Right? What it's basically asking me is this. If it doesn't get the match, which I'm asking it to give me, what should it do? It should be able to tell me false. Don't approximate at all. We don't want approximations in finance. So you'll come and always in finance, you always tick what here? The false. You tick the false like that. And then now you should be able to do what here? To close brackets. Remember, I'm the only one who is speaking. I'm the only one who is doing something. You are only watching what I'm doing. Now from there, I'll come and say, in this case here, enter. When I say enter, it is telling me that Arsenal is an English team here. It has been able to pick it from here. And now this is the most beautiful thing, before I repeat, this is the most beautiful thing with Excel. I can now come and scroll this to the right. When I scroll it to the right there, I'm seeing England being duplicated. So somebody may think it's a mistake. No. The only disadvantage of this VLOOKUP is this. Like when I come and I click on this England, all the other things are correct, except for this column number. You see, Champions League is supposed to be column number 3. Column number 3. So every other thing is correct except for this. So when I'm here at England, I've clicked there. I need to come here at 2, and then I say back, I say 3, like that. And then I'll be able to do what here to say enter. When I say enter, you can see now it has come. The same case here with England. So for England, I'll be able to come and say 4 because games played is 4. So I'll be able to come here and say 4. I'll be able to come and say 4. And then I say enter. Now from there, we have points and. So this points and is number 5. So you say number 5 like that. Number 5 like that. And then you say enter. Now listen before you start doing yours. Listen before you start doing yours. What if somebody, for example, comes and tells me Lazio? He wants me to give him information about Lazio. The good thing with Excel, once you have done for the first one, then every other thing in this case here becomes repetitive. So I'll come and highlight this, the whole of it, and then I'll be able to drag down. I'll be able to drag down. I can even drag down like 4. So you'll be able to see that Lazio is an Italian team. Look at this. Italy, no, right? 38, 56 points. So whichever team, for example, they want, if they come and tell me, for example, now I've been able to automate my sheet. If they tell me they want me to give them information about Fiorentina, I'll only write the word Fiorentina and ensure it is correctly spelled and say enter. It's able to give me everything about what here, Fiorentina. It's here. Everything about Fiorentina. So this is a very powerful tool that I can use to search, for example, for my vouchers, right? Right? Very powerful tool. Very, very powerful tool. Very powerful tool. Very powerful tool. So is there anybody who would want me to do this? Is there anybody who would want me to do this? Is there anybody who would want me to do this again? Of course, I told you not to write anything. Is there anybody who would want me to do this again? You're not saying anything. No, I will not repeat it because number one, I only wanted you to see the big picture, and then later on you watch this video so that now for the few remaining minutes, you'll be able to see how I'm applying these things in my finance. How do I apply these things in finance? In preparation of what here? Income statement, etc, 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 etc. So here we are. Please allow me to move to something which is what here very important. Even this one is very important for you, right? But very important is this one. Very important. Yeah, I would want you to open this. This is a very important transactions table that we have. Somebody please open this. Please open this. Mapping, it's called mapping. It's called mapping. It's called mapping. It's called mapping. So is there anybody who has been able to get this one of mapping? Is there anybody who has been able to get the one of mapping? Please, I would seek your indulgence that you give me an additional 15 to 20 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes, kindly. I'm so sure that I'm eating onto your time, but this is also very important, kindly. Akimani says yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, great. Great. Okay. Great. Now, I don't know whether the table that you have, does it look like mine? Check this. How are your dates? Do you have years? Do you have financials? Do you have amounts? Whether the table that you have, does it look like mine? Check this. How are your dates? Do you have years? Do you have financials? Do you have amounts? How are your dates? I'm so sure some of you would be having your dates being like this. Or they're the same. Great. Please ensure that you have a column called year. Do you have it? A column called year. You have a column called year. You have no. So let me do this for you. I'm so sure now yours is a bit far. So I'll come here, right? Let me take you back a little bit. Control, find, replace, find this, replace with this, replace all. Right? And then of course you guys don't have now this. I can even delete it. So control negative and delete the entire column. Great. Now yours must be looking like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. Normally when I'm given an Excel worksheet, I look at the date. Hii kitu ya kuandika date na dot. Kwa Excel wanga ikubali date na dots. Right? Excel ni dates zinakuwa na slashes. Actually, if I try, for example, to pick a year, if I come and try to use the year function, I say equals, I say year there, right? I say year there, and then I click on the date. I click on the date. If I try this, when it has got this decimal, haiwezi pick. Itakwambia error straight away. So the first thing that you need to do whenever you come across your dates, ensure that your dates have got what your slashes. So you highlight the entire column of dates, and then you say here, control find. You say control do what here? Control find. So when you say control find, you are seeing here find and replace. Find and so you say replace. So I want to find the dots. I want to find the dots, right? And then I replace them with what here? I replace them with slashes. So replace them with slashes like that. And you'll be able to see that they have made all the replacements. You say, okay. Date ikiandikwa hivi ni mzuri sana. Sababu unajua nikija hapa, nikifinya on the date. Look at, when I press on any date here, look at up, it's 01/02, 01/20. So I want all my dates here to be what here? with slashes. So is there somebody who has been able to reach where I have reached? Is there somebody who has been able to reach where I have reached? Is there somebody who has been able to reach where I have reached? Now, this one, we have to do it, all of us. This is very important. We are given a trial balance. This is very important. This is very important. This is very important. So what I'll also do, courtesy to our friendship, I'll ensure that each one of you has got access to all my Excel videos. So immediately after this, using your company emails, I'll be able to give you access to what here? To all the videos in my portal for your practice, So, and that is a lifetime membership, a lifetime membership. And of course, I'll be able to track down whether you're watching them, because I expect to be seeing like Salim has left a note there saying, I did not understand this, I understood it now. So for you to continue having that lifetime membership, it's important that you keep on watching. Otherwise, I'll give you a gadget which will not assist you, right? Yeah. Kibali amesema yes. Kibali amesema yes. Clive, umeweza kupata ama ino ilikuwa ya saa ngapi? Clive, umepata kweli hiyo date zako zimekuja namna hiyo kweli Clive? Clive, dates zako zimekuja hivyo. Thank you very much. Great. Now, after that, I want us to introduce a column in between. Let's introduce a column in between the date and the financials. How do we introduce a column? It's very easy. You'll come to the column after. You would want to introduce the column here between B and C. So come to C. So you highlight the entire C. And then you say Control-Shift+. Control-Shift+, a new column is right there. When you want to delete a column, you simply say Control-. You simply say Control-. So I would want feedback from you. Is there somebody who has been able to, get that new column, to get the new column? Is there somebody who has been able to get the new column? Is there somebody who has been able to get the new column? Yes, Gabriel. How about the other students? How about the other? The thumbs up or thumbs down? Augustine says yes. CPA Said. Salim says yes. Great. Great. Thank you very much. Now, this column, I would want us to introduce a title for it. Call it the year title. You call it the year title. So you call it the year title, and then you say enter. And then in the year, I want us to extract years out of the dates. Remember, in financials, we can't do an income statement for January. For financials, I would want to do income statements for each year. So I'll come and say equals there. And then I say the year function. I want the year alone out of the date. I want the year alone. So I'll be able to tab like that. When I tab, they want us to give them the serial number. It is the date, basically. You click on that date. Once you click on the date, you say enter, you are able to see something very bad. July 05. I would want you to tell me whether that is what you guys are also getting, July 05 as the year. Is there somebody who is able to tell me whether they're getting that July 05 as the year? July 05 as the year. Is there anybody who is able to get that July 05 as the year? July 05 as the year. Yes. So of course, whenever you see something like this happening, what does it mean? It means that there is a problem with customization. It has been customized strongly. So go to home, right? You look at this custom thing, it's a customized thing. Remember, year is a number. Year is a number, it's never customized, right? Year is a number. Like now, this one here, number, it is here. Don't put, if it was money, I would have said Kenya shilling, currency, right? So I want this number 2014, like that. And once I press that 2014, what am I seeing there? It's coming with .00 nicely, but we know that years are never put in form of decimals. No. So I need to kill those decimals. When I want to kill decimals, I'll come to this thing. You see, when you look at this, when you place your cursor here, when you place your cursor here, you said number. When you place your cursor there, you are able to see decrease decimal. Hii ni ya ku-increase, hii ni ya ku-decrease. So we want to decrease. So decrease. So you press there once, kadecimal kamoja kanaenda. You press another time, inabaki clean 2014. So hebu niambie kama tuko pamoja paka hapo jameni. Niambie kama tuko pamoja paka hapo jameni. Niambie tuko pamoja paka hapo jameni. Niambie kama tuko pamoja paka hapo. Is there somebody who has been able to reach there? Is there somebody who has been able to reach there? Is there somebody who has been able to reach there? The responses are so low. 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 Na leo ni asubuhi. Unajua jana ningewa excuse. Jana nilijua mliniambia 30 something degrees. Right? Lakini ama bado asubuhi kuna joto mingi? Bado asubuhi kuna joto mingi kweli? Very much together. Thank you very much. Now, then if that is the case, please come and drag this thing down. So unapata accountant mwenye anajua anaanza kudrag moja. Utadrag mpaka 15,000 rows. Ama whatever number of rows. No, when it is like that, you simply come and press what here, you put this small plus there, and then you double click. Double click. Excel is beautiful. Excel is beautiful. Excel is beautiful. Excel is beautiful. Actually, in some circles, I normally laugh with some people. I tell them, for those of you who are not married, if you're looking for a spouse, and ensure that your spouse is good in Excel. If they're not good in Excel, don't take a step further. Excel is nice. It's a way of life. Problem watu wengi, they don't invest time kushika Excel. Excel will save your company tons and tons of time. Trust you me. Tons and tons of time. So for example, you could have like this one Excel sheet, which is shared across all employees doing a particular project. When somebody gets something, they're able to report on that. Excel is a beautiful thing. Even KRA, the iTax thing, is premised on Excel. I told you I work for a company which is a close competitor of SAP, and I can tell you, even in SAP, they're basically modeling their programs on what here. It's Excel that is in between. It's Excel that is under. So the moment you understand Excel very well, it will take you places that you have never seen before. It will grow your organization. You will become more thorough and more efficient. How you do your reports. I mean, you do your reports nicely in Excel, ensure you are able to draw graphs by the side. When you take that proposal somewhere, people wonder, why can't this farm, in this case here, be at the top league? People wonder, right? So are we together up to here? Is there somebody who has been able to see this 2014 all the way, 2015, 2016? Right? So are we together? Are we together for the years like that? Are we together up to there? Have you been able to duplicate that 2014? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, you see, when you want to do now your income statement, there is no income statement that has a segmentation of revenue, for example. Tells you that this revenue comes from there. This, no. According to IFRS 1, right? Published accounts, we should only have one line for revenue, the consolidated revenue, one line for cost of sales, one line for administrative expenses, distribution expenses, right? We need depreciation, we need finance cost, we need taxes. So we will really need to do a lot of mapping. Now listen and listen to me very well. Listen and listen to me very well. Ladies and gentlemen, I would want to come and create a column by this idea called mapping. Now in this mapping of mine, I would want to put all the revenues, for example, on one basket. So revenue from supermarkets, revenue from discounters, revenue from grocery. I would want to create one basket that I'll call revenue and put all those revenues there. So how do I do this? To do this, first of all, highlight the entire row, the entire top row. The entire top row, you highlight it. Once you highlight it, please go to data. Go to data. Utafute hii, sijui kwa Kiswahili inaitwa namna gani, kama funnel, kitu filter hii. Kwa Kiswahili sijui inaitwa namna gani, nyinyi ndio Waswahili, hebu niambieni. Kwa Kiswahili hiyo funnel inaitwaje? Kwa Kiswahili hiyo funnel inaitwaje? Hii kitu tunatumia kitambo kwa kuweka mafuta taa kwa kibuyu Kwa Kiswahili mnaitaje? Kichungi kweli kichunjio, okay. Great, thank you very much. Okay. Lakini si sawa na ile kichungi ya chai si sawa. Hii tofauti ya mafuta taa. Right. So I would want to know kama mshatumia kichungi basi kupata hizi vitu filters naona hapa. Unaona hapa, ukishatumia vizuri unapata hizo filters. Yuko umeitumia vizuri. Aha. Uko sawa SS. Aha. Okay. Haya, ushapata tayari already? Mohamed amesema amepata hivi. Kichungi sasa zimekuwa mingi on top of each. Hivi amesema yes. Aha. David amesema yes. Aha. Ladies and gentlemen, William pia amesema yes. So here we are. So then what we shall do there after that, I would want to get into my mapping exercise. So then what I'll do when I'm mapping, I'll always go to the financials, the transactions column. So these financials, I click on this filter. When I click on the filter like that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm seeing some pop-up window. The first item that I would want to filter out is what we call revenue. So I'll come there and search and look for revenue. So I type revenue full. And you can see revenue items that I would want to put on one basket have come up. All of them are ticked like that, right? So then what I'll do, I'll simply come and say, okay. So when I say, okay, what am I able to see? I'm able to see only revenues left because I've filtered this thing out on the basis of revenue. On the basis of revenue, I've been able to filter it out. On the basis of revenue, I've been able to filter it out. So could you kindly talk to us? Are you able to filter yours like that? Is there somebody who has been able to filter? Is there somebody who has been able to filter? Is there somebody who has been able to filter? Is there somebody who has been able to filter like that? Sio ngumu kufilter, unagonga hiyo kichungi ya financials. Unakuja hapa kwa search, unasema revenue. Ukishasema revenue, unasema okay. Aha, tunaona kama kuna mmoja ameweza kuchunga. Yes, Augustine says yes. Kimani says yes. Thank you and thank you very much. Now, if that is the case, then ladies and gentlemen, you will come to your map. Having filtered that, the first row there, you simply say revenue. You simply say revenue like that. When you say revenue, you say enter. Once you have entered, ladies and gentlemen, still go back there. I would want the entire revenue to be duplicated all over. I would want all these things here to be called revenue. So I need to come and scroll down. But now remember, I'm so sure you normally use this mapping quite a lot. Perhaps you don't use it exactly this way. Remember, for mapping, what you need to do, don't use this thing of a small plus, you double click, no. This mapping is a special exercise for accountants. What you need to do is to come and control copy. You control copy. So when I'm copying like that, you can see, ladies and gentlemen, things there, right? Meaning that I can easily now paste this thing downwards. But you see, there is a special key for pasting mapping values without missing any. Ukiangalia kwa kompyuta yako, kuna kitu kwa button karibu na delete huko juu. Imeandikwa home and insert and delete. Is there somebody who is able to see that end? Is there somebody who is able to see that end? If you're using a computer, end iko kwa number 1. End iko kwa number 1. Is there somebody who is able to see end? So if you're not able to see it, of course, then I would expect you guys to be doing what here? To be moving down. Be moving down like this. Sio mbali hata sana. To be moving down like this. To be moving down like this. To be moving down like this. Itakusumbua kidogo lakini unafanya manual. Ndio hiyo hapo. Yes. Unafanya manual. Unaweka revenue hivyo. Hata mimi nitawafunza hii ya manual kweli. Right? Now after that, ladies and gentlemen, of course now you are at home. Right? You go back if that is what we love. We can go back. We go back. Again, we hit on the financials. When I hit on the financials, I'll come and select the next thing, which is cost of sales. So here I'm selecting, they called it COGS. I'm selecting COGS now. And all the COG items have come up. So I need to come and say what here? Okay. So when I say okay like that, I can see the COGS are there. IFRS 1, published accounts cannot allow me to use COGS. So in my map, I have to come and write this in full. I say cost of goods sold. I say enter. I go back there. And then again, I should be able to, even without copying, I should be able to scroll down. I should be able to scroll this down. I scroll this, I scroll with this. If you don't want shortcuts, you can come and scroll, no problem. You scroll until the last one. So long as you don't omit any, scroll like that. I'll show you the shortcut, but for now, I want us to scroll like that. And then after cost of goods sold, IFRS 1. So I'm working on a project on IFRS 17 insurance contracts. IFRS 1 talks over operating costs. Right? So again, go back. So go back there. So we go back. We go to this funnel here. Right? Yeah, financial funnel. So now I'm looking at operating costs. Already it has come up. It's there. So I'll simply say apply. Okay. So once it comes there, I have to put it in my map for financial statements. So I'll come and say there, operating expenses. So once I say operating expenses, no problem. I'll go back there and then do what here? We drag it down. This is nice, not very far, 430 something. Great. Right. Now, after that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll go up. But now, as I continue, I would want to know whether there is a student who has been able to reach where Mwalimu has reached. Even if it's one or two, we'll be able to assist the others at the office. Even if it's one or two. Anybody who has been able to reach where I have reached? Yes, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, from there, I'll go up here. My work is to knock. I knock the financial filter. I knock it. So I knock on this. Next, of course, I'll be interested in the depreciation. So I'll press there, depreciation. I can see it as a come here. No. Same depreciation and amortization, it is here, selected, the only one up there. So I'll be able to say, okay. So it brings all of them. Then I'll be able to come back there, ladies and gentlemen, and write in full. Depreciation, and amortization. Depreciation and amortization, like that. So please come there and copy this down. Take it down. Please come here and copy this down. Please come here and copy this down. copy it down like that, like that. After depreciation and amortization, I'll go back and basically go back to the beginning. Go back to the beginning. Again, I like this aspect of knocking. I'm knocking. So I'll come back here, ladies and gentlemen. I knock there. I know the next one, these things are even organized here. You'll be able to see them. The next one, of course, there will be the interest. So I'm only left with the two, interest and tax. So I have interest there. Interest, expense, interest, I can see it is the only one which is there. So I'll be able to say, okay, right? And the interest is there. So I'll come to my mind map and write interest expense, write interest expense or expenses. And then I say enter, I go back there, and then I'll be able to do what here? I will be able to really, yes, copy down there like that. And the last one, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call the tax. The last one is what we call the tax. So come to the search there, you say tax, taxes, it is there already. You say, okay, so we have taxes, come here, we have taxes, like that. And then you should be able to do what here to drag this down. So if you don't know shortcuts, these are the kind of stresses you go through. But fortunately for us, most of the data is not that big. So now there we are, we have finished our mapping exercise. You have finished our mapping exercise. So once you finish your mapping exercise, you must tell Excel you have finished. And how do you do it? You'll come and tell Excel I have finished mapping. I'll come and click on these financials, and then I select all. You see here, you say select all. Select all. You tell Excel I've finished mapping. I've finished mapping. I've finished mapping. So, ladies and gentlemen, is there anybody who has been able to declare that they have finished mapping? Is there anybody who has been able to declare they have finished marking? How do you declare or finish marking? You simply come and hit these financials, go to select all. Select all mappings. Select all mappings. And then I'll be able to see everything now has been categorized there. Everything has been categorized there. So I'm asking again for the umpteenth time, is there anybody who has been able to declare select all? Select all, select all, select all. Anybody who has been able to select all? Anybody who has been able to select all? They are not talking to me at all. They are not talking to me. They are not talking to me. I don't know why. They are not talking to me. They are not talking to me. Ah, great. Great. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from there now, this that is being called their data source, the one that is being called data source, I don't like that name data source. I'll click on it, right click on it, and then I rename it. This is my mapping. Now, once I have the mapping like that, right, enter, I'll come here and open another sheet. So this sheet, I'll come and rename it profit and loss, profit and loss, profit and loss. And then I say enter. Please do that and confirm that you have been able to do that. So now I have my mapped items, and I have a new sheet for profit and loss. It's 10:20. Please kindly bear with me a few more minutes. A few more minutes. So I'm waiting to get to hear whether there is anybody who has been able to rename this to mapping and opened a new one and they call it profit and loss. Profit and loss. Is there somebody who has been able to do that? Is there somebody who has been able to do that? Yes. Only one person, one gentleman called Cleaver. Cleaver. Great. Thank you very much. Great. Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the next thing that I will do is to go back to my mapping. In my mapping, I will need to highlight my entire map items. You highlight them manually. The entire mapped items, highlight them manually, if you wish, highlight them manually, 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 highlight them manually. Great, great. So you highlight all of them like that, and then you say control copy. Highlight them, and then you say control copy. Highlight them, and then you say control copy, and then you take them to the profit and loss. Take them to the profit and loss. Somewhere here, not at the very beginning, somewhere here, you say control V. Control V. You copy them down, all of them. Again, somebody confirm to me that we are together. Somebody confirm to me they've been able to copy them from the map. You've brought them to the next step, which is the profit and loss account. Which is the profit and loss account. Kimani is confirming. Who else is control V? Control V. You copy them down, all of them. Again, somebody confirm to me that we are together. Somebody confirm to me they've been able to copy them from the map. You've brought them to the next step, which is the profit and loss account. Which is the profit and loss account. Kimani is confirming. Who else is confirming? Please try to confirm as we finish. Gabriel has confirmed. Try to confirm as we finish. Great. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, if that is the case, then I'll go back here. You can see, remember this thing is supposed to be what is supposed to be highlighted. You can see there are a lot of repetitions. So I would want you to delete all these duplicates. You call them duplicates. You delete duplicates. So whenever you see data duplicated like that, you don't even have to know, you don't even have to cram the formula. You can even come to your Excel here and say duplicates. It will be able to show you. You see, like now it is coming here, remove duplicates, right? So like now that one, the moment I press there, remove duplicates, if I click like that, it is asking me, right? In column B, this is my column B. Do you want to remove duplicates? I'll say, okay. It tells me 429 duplicates have been removed, 6 unique values remain. I say, okay. Right? So zingine ukishindwa na function gani tumika unaipata aje kama vile lookup unakuja hapo kwa search. Unasema mama sum, whichever. As long as you remember the function, you'll also be able, that's a very good shortcut. Right? Right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, from there, what do I do? From there, okay, first of all, I would want to know whether there is anybody who has been able to remove their duplicates. Please, I don't have time. Please, I don't have time. I'm wasting company's time, which is very vital. Is there somebody who has been able to remove the duplicates? Is there somebody who has been able to remove the duplicates? Is there somebody who has been able to remove the duplicates? Is there somebody who has been able to remove the duplicates? Even one person? If you want, you can as well come here to the data, right? So in the data, here in the data tools, you'll be able to see aka icon ka remove. When unakuonyesha blue ya juu, white, alafu blue repeated. It's a duplicate. So you'd want to remove the second one, unakwambia click on that. Click on that. So is there somebody who has been able to remove the duplicates? Only one person, CPA Said. CPA Said ametoa. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if that is the case, please, only one person ameweza, another one ameweza kutoa. So you'll have to make your column a bit wider to sustain all the names inside there. Duplicate. Another person ametoa, yes, David Makia. I would want to see whether there is any other person really. Cliff pia ametoa. Sasa kumbukeni miaka yetu ni 3. Miaka yetu ni 3 ni gani na gani sample miaka yetu? Tuko na 2014, andika hapa juu 2014. Tuko na 2015, tuko na 2016. Miaka yetu ni 3, 2016. Miaka yetu ni 3. Haya, sasa kutoka hapo ukishaandika hivyo utakuja unaweka formula. So remember what we want to do. Look at our map. Our map, ladies and gentlemen, is a very interesting one. I love this map. I would want us to add these total amounts, get the normal sum, but this sum is conditional. It's conditional to the different years. It's conditional to the different map items. So you've got two conditionalities. We have the conditionality of map item, and then we have the conditionality of year. So now listen and listen to me very well. Once I've been able to say equals there, once I've been able to say equals there, I'll come here, ladies and gentlemen. Listen and listen here. So I've been able to say there equals. So what do I want? I want the sum ifs. Sum ifs like that. The sum range. Where is my sum range? Very easy. I go back to my mapping. These amounts here, the amounts that you are seeing here are my sum range. So I'll come and just highlight the entire column from up E. Now listen and listen to me. This E is like an array. The sum range, the amount must always be fully referenced. So please go there and press F4. You press F4. Now, what I would bear with you is that you give me 5 minutes, I go through the entire thing, and then I repeat. Just look at this very keenly. I just would want to go through the entire thing alone. Now, from there, of course, I expect to put a comma. So once I put a comma, then they want now the criteria range. Criteria range 1. Remember, I told you we have got two criteria, the year and what year and the mapping. So the year is here. So this is the criteria range for the years, all the years, the house. So I'll be able to click on this, and then I'll be able to, of course, fully reference to it by pressing F4. And then I say comma. Then once I say the year house, then I have to go back to my P and L. So this P and L, now I need to pick the criteria, the year, the single item. The single item here is 2014. I pick it like that. Now somebody talk to me. In this C5, you remember you're not doing anything. But in this C5, C5, which one do you expect me to lock? When I pick a single item, I'm locking one value. I'm locking one. Either I lock 5 or I lock C. Can somebody talk to me? Which one do you think should I lock? Which one do you think should I lock? Which one do you think should I lock? Between C and the 5, just guesswork. Which one do you think should I lock? 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 Please talk to me. Time is not on my side. So others are telling me, I can see somebody telling me to lock. Don't fear, to lock C. Said is telling me to lock C. To lock C. Said umepotea. Angalieni, hii 2014 iko kwa column. 2014, 2015, 2016. This is supposed to be a row. It's an external thing. Something which is external, this one. Right? It's a title. It's among the title. So then it should be 5 being locked. Don't worry, I'll repeat this severally. I've done so many videos on this, which I'll be able to show you. So I'll come and lock that 5 alone, right? So ladies and gentlemen, from there, I'm through with the criteria range 1 and the criteria year itself. From there now, I go to criteria range 2, which is the mapping. Now go to the mapping here. The mapping itself, it's F. Mapping is a criteria range. Criteria range hakuna kufikiria. Hii unasema ni F4. Alafu unakuja unasema comma. So in the mapping, which item of mapping am I looking at? Am I looking for in my P and L? I'm looking for the revenue. I'm looking for this revenue. That's the last thing. So this revenue is B6. Could you kindly tell me between, because I've only picked one item, between B and the 6, which one should I lock? Which one should I lock? Which one should I lock? Is it B or 6? Is it B or 6? Which one should I lock? Is it B or 6? Just try, no problem, even if you don't get it right. Which one should I lock up? Is it B or 6? Is it B or 6? Is it B or 6? Don't worry, even if you don't get it, no problem. Should I lock 6 or should I lock B? Which one should I lock? I'm not getting good number of people guessing. I'm not getting good number of people guessing that it's B, yes. Now you guys are becoming geniuses, yes. Because now B is at the corner, is a bedrock, right? It's something I'm going to, in this case, here, make a reference. So in this case here, it is B. So you come and lock there. You come and lock there, B, by putting $1 there. So you put $1 there, you put $1 there. And then, ladies and gentlemen, now what you do, you'll come and do what here, close your bracket, and that is it. So you say enter. When you say enter, we are getting revenue of 29. We are getting revenue of 29. We are getting revenue of 29, 22. Now, after that, ladies and gentlemen, what I need to do is to come and now use the power of Excel and get for the other years. And then I use the power of Excel to go and get for everything else downwards like that. And then, ladies and gentlemen, what I need to do is to come and introduce what here some rows. Like now I would want to come here, and so I'll come and say Control Shift. I add a row there for gross profit, for gross profit, for gross profit, right? I'll come here and add a row for Control Shift add. I add a row for EBITDA, 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 like that. And now why did I put it here really? Should it be Control Cut? Put it here. That's a D. Sorry. Yeah, this is earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and what here amortization, EBITDA. Very important. Come down here, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be able to say Control Shift. You add another row, and then you'll be able to see EBIT alone. So EBIT alone, EBIT alone. I don't want the DA now. The DA is no longer there. Now after that, I'll come and add one more in between. So one more in between, I'll say Control Shift plus. Then I'll be able to have what we call EBT, because interest now is more gone, EBT. And then lastly, I'll be able to have my EAT like that. Great. So we have this bolden. This is a title, should be bolden. This also another title, should be bolden. This other one here should be bold. This other one here should be bold, like that. So then now I'll be able to do whatever I want now, like I say equals. So like now this is minus this. Then I'll be able to get my answer. I'll come and say like now this one will be equals this minus the operating expenses. I get it that way. I come here and they say this equals this minus this. I say enter. I come here, I say equals this minus this. I say enter. I come here, I say equals this minus this. I say equals. So from there now what I need to do is to come and drag this. I say Control right. I come and drag this. I say Control right. I come and drag this. I say, oops. I drag this. I say Control right. I drag. I can even use the normal drag, right? It's the normal drag. It's even easier. Just the normal drag. It's even easier like that. Great. So from there now I can come and arrange all this information in form of tables, right? To make it look good. Control table. I would want it to start from here, moves down like that. Does it have headers? Yes, it does. I'll be able to say, okay. So now I'm trying to present my table in a very good way so that whoever that I'm dealing with will know that they're dealing with what here, a very serious what here, a very serious auditor. So ladies and gentlemen, this is something that may look complicated to you, but trust you me, it's a simple thing. Once we practice, we shall be able to like it, and we shall be using it across the table for the balance sheet and for the income statement. That is all that I had for you for this training. We'll be having access to videos. I expect you to be watching them severally, and please leaving comments behind. Otherwise, you've been a good audience. I would want to transfer this program back to the management of the company. Thank you very much.